Hello Nova Nation, it's WXVU Sports Director David Szczepanski here with a preview video. It's Big East Tournament time. The quarterfinals are here as Villanova, the number 3 seed, will battle the number 11 seed Georgetown Hoyas. Georgetown with an upset win last night against DePaul in the first round. Villanova's 24-7. The Wildcats have a golden opportunity to get to 25 wins and increase their seeding in March Madness. ESPN's Joe Lunardi has Villanova as a 7 seed in his latest bracketology, so a good chance for Villanova to pick up win number 25 of the season tonight against a Georgetown team that really has underachieved so far this year. The Hoyas are 15-17 overall, just 6-14 in Big East play, and this team had a lot of high expectations heading into the year, and I think it's definitely fair to say that the Hoyas have underachieved so far. As an offense, they average 74 points per game. Defensively, they give up about 73 points per contest, so right about middle of the pack in both of those categories, right around 100 in both Ken Pom and Bar Torvik. So players to watch: KJ Lewis, he is out for the rest of the season with an ankle injury. He really was the star of this Hoyas team this year, averaging around 14 or 15 points per game, and a team that doesn't really shoot the ball that well from three. He was one of the better three-point shooters at about 31% from behind the arc. So no Lewis tonight, and that really changes the dimension of this offense. So Georgetown has to keep this a low-scoring game to win. They just don't have a whole lot of offensive pieces. So Vince Iwuchukwu, who came off the bench, he played really well last night, scored almost 20 points against DePaul. So he's definitely a player to watch. He averages about 12 points per game and 6 rebounds per contest. And then you also have Malik Mack, who scored more than 20 points in the last matchup against Villanova. He's averaging around 13 or 14 points per game. So those are the two best players to watch without KJ Lewis on this Georgetown team. When you look at some more of the stats, right, this is a really good team at limiting turnovers, only about 10 turnovers per game. They don't do a great job at forcing turnovers on the other end, but they do a really good job, like I said, at limiting turnovers offensively. Three-point shooting is an area where this Georgetown team struggles. Only about 32% from behind the arc as a team. And when you look at Bar Torvik, this is a team that is in the high 200s, so well below average in terms of perimeter offense. Their perimeter defense is okay. They allow their opponent to shoot about 33% from behind the arc. Nothing special there, but still a team that, like I said, a lot of the stats kind of middle of the pack, right around 100 in Bar Torvik and Ken Pom. So this is a good opportunity for Villanova. The Wildcats are favored by about 9 points, and you do have to take a look, at the first two games between these two teams this season, right? Villanova swept the season series, but the first game was a really gritty, low-scoring battle to fin. It was a double-digit, pretty easy win for the Wildcats, but the last game in Washington, D.C. was not easy. Villanova had to survive a really slow kind of first half defensively. Villanova played better in the second half, but it was still a game that came down to the wire. Caden Lewis scored 26 points, and thankfully he did, because Villanova probably wouldn't have won that game. So he had a career-high 26 in that matchup, the D.C. native, and so it's definitely something to keep an eye on. This Georgetown team can hang around, right? Don't let that 11 seed fool you. Anybody in the Big East can be competitive. You saw that last night with the number 11 Georgetown team beating the number 6 DePaul. So this is a game that I think Villanova should win, but again, the keys to the game have to play well defensively. This Georgetown team is coming off a good defensive performance against DePaul, right? They don't have KJ Lewis, but still Vince Iwuchukwu is really good. This is a team that does a really good job at rebounding the basketball. They outscored DePaul in the paint easily last night. They have a good amount of size, especially on their bench, so you have to be ready for that. You'll look to Duke Brennan in that paint matchup. Then I think also for Villanova, the key is to shoot the ball well, right? You want to outshoot this Georgetown team from the perimeter, a team that has really struggled from behind the arc. The Hoyas shot just 21% from three-point range last night against the Blue Demons. Thanks for tuning into this preview video. Again, tonight's game will begin at 9:30 p.m. Our WXU pregame show will begin at 9 as Nathan and Hayden will lead that from our WXVU studio. See you tonight in New York. Have a great rest of your day, Nova Nation. And as always, go Cats!